Hello and welcome to this episode of the Mixtape podcast. This is where we take a deep dive into the inspirations and influences of my guest as I ask them to select 6 tracks for their imaginary mixtape. Track 1 is an attention grabber. Track 2 is a song they sing in the car or the shower. Track 3 is a cover version. For track 4, I'll ask them to pick a song they wish they could have played to their 18-year-old selves. Track 5 is a song they would use to woo someone. Track 6 is a track that my guest feels doesn't get the attention or recognition that it deserves. If you'd like to support the creation of this podcast, it's patreon.com/mixtape podcast, or you can check out the link in the description below. You can join for free or subscribe for as little as $2 a month. There's lots of other Patreon-only content on there, including the opportunity to ask guests a question and to have a personalised mixtape playlist curated by yours truly. There's lots of other ways you can support me, a like or a follow on social media. Again, there's links in the description for that. Or if you are listening on Spotify, you can smash the follow icon or you can rate the podcast. All of these little things go a long way towards growing the platform, and I really, really appreciate it. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello and welcome to this mixtape for KCR 102.5 FM and the mixtapepodcast.com. Joining me today, it is an absolute pleasure to welcome Roy Kellaway from King Stingray. How are you, Roy?
Good, mate. Good. How you going?
Very well, thanks. Very well. I really appreciate you making the time for a chat, mate. So you're coming to Perth. You're touring Australia supporting the new album For the Dreams, March and April this year, and you're coming to Perth playing the Fremantle Arts Centre on the 4th of April. KingStingrayOfficial.com is your one-stop shop for tickets and info and merch and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Wanted to talk to you first, Roy, about the new album For the Dreams. Just give us a bit of a flavour, a bit of a sort of what's the overall vibe of the album? How does it sort of compare to your debut, self-titled?
Yeah, so it's, a lot has changed since we released our debut album, and that's probably just because we've just had a little bit more lived experience. It hasn't been a long time between those releases, only 2 years, but it's a very been a big 2 years for us, and I think that's just how we're feeling. We've been traveling all around the world, playing our music and feeling just really pumped up with lots of excitement and really feeling the love and support from people around us. And I think this new record is, very King Sting flavor like it is our King Sting sound, but we're sort of delving into a few more themes that are just lived experience, I guess, of our lives. And it's a very present, sort of recount of our lives, because we kind of wrote and recorded the music kind of almost at the same times. We were sort of demoing and then the demos kind of turned into the songs themselves. So it wasn't like when we were writing these pieces of music, we kind of were writing how we're feeling at that time, and then next minute they recorded and next minute it's sort of done. I mean, it didn't happen that quickly, but that's the sort of summarized version. And we've had a lot of incredible experience to write about over the last few years, from traveling around the world and making new memories, and that's a big nostalgic theme kind of comes about in this new record as well, because I think just sort of thinking about our life and what's happened over the last few years, from coming from a very sleepy, rural town in the bush, and then to being on the scene and rubbing shoulders with these musicians that we kind of admire, and all of a sudden felt like it was quite a quick change in pace, coming from that small town to big cities all around the world. So it's kind of a different tempo and a different pace of life, and how we've sort of interpreted that.
Yeah. It's been a whirlwind couple of years for you, I can imagine, over since the first record came out. You touched on it a little bit there, Roy, with your songwriting process. So I wanted to ask you, with the songwriting and the creative process in the band, how does it work? Are you main songwriter? Is it split up between, the rest of the band? How do you write your songs?
Yeah, look, we have a few different ways. I mean, it's usually starts with a riff and sort of a general idea of a song, and I kind of demo that at home in my little home studio here in Ballina in the Northern Rivers. And then on the road with this record, we were traveling around a lot, so I'd bring my hard drive always on the road with us with song ideas and kind of beds of song ideas and things like that. And then we'd book studios in these different cities that we were in to make the most of trying to get back in the studio. And we'd come in and just having that preparation of a song made we were a bit more productive in the studio. So it was always, I think this record kind of came about because of that, me trying to keep the ball rolling and just frothing and with excitement and coming into these studios with a lot of it kind of already written, and then the band would add their flavor and obviously as singers it's a big collaboration there.
Sure.
Overall a pretty collaborative effort, but definitely just kind of keeping the ball rolling by doing as much of the recording at home. I've got a nice little setup at home here and I love producing music as I did with the first record, and it's just a lot. I get a lot of fun out of tweaking sounds and super enjoyable.
Yeah, you totally preempted my next question there, which was about the production on this record. I was going to ask you if that was the first time you'd had production duties, but obviously not. Do you enjoy that side of things?
Yeah, I love it. I love production, and I've been trying to level up as a producer over the last few years and just honing on my skills. And I think we also a very DIY type band and love to do as much stuff ourselves as possible, and we just enjoy that process a lot. And we've got a lot of incredible talented musicians in our band, so we all kind of wear different hats and very in-house sort of operated over the last few records.
I saw as well, Roy, there's some fantastic looking vinyl bundles on your web store and splatter colour vinyl and stuff like that. Are you a fan of the physical formats yourself?
I am, I do love vinyl, and I think just because it is such a big physical item in terms of physical formats over the years, vinyl's sort of stood the test of time for me anyway, just because you get this really big picture and nice big bit of album art, and there's something nice about listening to a record from top to bottom, flipping the disc and hearing how it was created, because we created this record, our new album, with that in mind, so the journey goes on from the opening track Light Up to the last track Cat 5, and that journey and that process, music has been a journey for us, and especially this album, we really feel like that journey from sort of A to B is really important. We love to tell a story. A lot of our songs tell a story. They're not just like random words. It's all kind of telling a story. We're storytellers, and sharing these stories is important to us. So
sure.
I think vinyl we do love, and have enjoyed pressing vinyl. Over the years we've done little limited edition 7 inches and always been loving that just because it's kind of cool. And
the colour vinyl looks fantastic, and I was looking at that earlier and looking at the bundles and stuff. Hopefully I'll be able to pick some up at your show Fremantle in April. Really looking forward to that one.
Mate, we'll hook you up. Yeah, come on through. Come to the merch if you're coming out.
Oh, absolutely. No, I'm a total merch hound when it comes to gigs. Like, it's whenever I get into a venue, my first port of call is always the merch stand. I'm in there straight away every time. So absolutely, I'll grab through stuff there for sure. All right, Roy, let's talk about your mixtape track choices then that I sprang on you about 15 minutes before we started talking. So as you know, my show's called The Mixtape, and when I get people on, I like to get them to, as a way of sort of exploring their influences and sort of songwriting inspirations, to make up like an imaginary mixtape. So for track 1, when I make up a playlist, or even when I kick off the radio show, I always try and go in with an attention grabber. So what would be an attention grabbing track for you, mate?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I like a song called Wide Awake by Parquet Courts. Kind of cracks in with interesting use of a whistle, like an umpire's whistle. And it's just got a great bass line and a groove. It's kind of a bit new wavy and sort of, it's just a fun vibe. Yeah.
Yeah. Great choice.
So, yeah.
Great choice. And track 2, Roy, for your mixtape. What is a song that you sing when you're on your own in the car or the shower? Or do you like to belt out?
That's a great question. I do love the chorus to Money by the Drums.
Oh, okay. Yes.
It's catchy. It's just saying, I'd like to buy you something, but I don't have any money. And just kind of repeats that on this nice hook. And it's a bit of an earworm. Maybe, but there's probably a guilty one in there, potentially like something super cheesy pop.
Yeah.
You'd ask for something.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, you know what? Probably Steer by Missy Higgins.
Yeah, great one. That's a great.
Just opens up. Just the chorus just really, you just hear that song, you can't help but to sing along.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Now, track 3, Roy, is going to be an interesting one to talk about with you, I'm sure. Track 3 is pick a favourite cover version, mate. What's one of your favourite cover versions?
Cover versions, okay. That DMA's cover, that was that
the shared
and love. Yeah.
Yeah, Believe.
Believe it's his vocals, Tommy's vocals is just amazing. And it was just one of those ones that when they did that, you just thought, whoa, okay, yeah, this guy can really sing. And it also just shows how good of a song that is too. Beautiful vocal melody.
Exactly right. You've hit on two of the themes of we have a lot of discussions on this show about cover versions and what makes a good one and that. What I liked about that version, that was the first time I'd heard DMAs when that came out a few years ago. And to look at them, you think these lads are going to mug me. Do you know what I mean? Like, they look like proper, like, hardcore, like, geezers. But then he started singing and that beautiful voice came out covering a Cher song. Unbelievable. Yeah, that was really my introduction to that band. For sure. It's a great version.
I think it was for a lot of people, I think. And another one I think of as well in my memories is the Kooks did a cover of Kids by MGMT.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, 2010 or even earlier. And it was just such a great version because it was done on an acoustic guitar. And that song is, primarily an electronic tune and, synths and stuff. And he's playing the synth line on just a simple acoustic guitar behind one little microphone in a little tiny radio station. So like that was for me a really good cover too, because it's done in their own way. And he's such a great singer. So yeah, Kids by MGMT covered by the Kooks was pretty special, I reckon.
Yeah. It would be very remiss of me as a radio presenter to be having a conversation with you about like a version and not mention your life-affirming, unbelievable cover of the Coldplay track Yellow. That's been picked in that category that we just spoke about. Your version's been picked loads and loads of times by other artists as their favourite cover version. It's certainly one of my favourite cover versions of all time. So what I wanted to ask you first, Roy, was I know that there was a real sort of deep meaning behind you choosing the track Yellow, right? Just talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so our singers come from a clan called Gumatj clan. That's their Maori clan group of the Yolŋu people of northeast Arnhem Land, and the colour, Gumatj colour, tribal colour is yellow, and so that holds a lot of significance for them as individuals, but also on a really deep level of family and connection and who they are and identity. And so it really kind of, it hit in a different way. We interpreted it in a totally different way. And, yellow signifies a lot of really strong themes in Yolŋu culture, and, yellow being the Gumatj flag color, but also, the color of animal fat is yellow, and it's a sign of, it's a richness. It's a real, significantly strong, bold, kind of theme that comes with that color of yellow. So yeah, big connection there. We love layers of meanings. Yolŋu culture and language is really strong, and the layers of meanings is sort of underpins a lot of what we do and why we do it. And it's this sort of deeper level sort of learnings that we're all we also really love the song, and we just, had a lot of fun mucking around with it and making it our own.
Yeah, I think that's a universal sort of theme when we talk on this show, especially, and I know I've had conversations on other podcasts with other people about cover versions. Making it your own is really what makes a good cover version. Like, they're some of the best ones, and you obviously absolutely done that there. I think for me, that song, your version of that song, I get goosebumps just thinking about it and talking about it, never mind just hearing it. Do you know what I mean? And I think that it speaks to the power and the joy of music that a geezer like me, who grew up on a East London council estate, can hear a song like that sung in that way and feel so, I don't know what the right way of expressing it, but I feel that song. I like music, Roy. Obviously, I'm a big music fan. I've been listening for 30, 40 years to music, but when I hear songs like that, and it's particularly Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan as well, I don't know if you're familiar with. It's a really sort of spiritual sort of music, Nusrat, and I experience that kind of music in a very different way than I do other music. It's like getting an inner hug. It's like, do you know what I mean? It's not just doing my ears all these favours. I feel like it nurtures me in a different way. And your version of Yellow does exactly the same thing. I just hear it and feel it in a completely different way. And I'm so stoked that I got to talk to you about it and tell you about that, because that song just gives me such a buzz.
Awesome, yeah, because it's the universal language, music.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter what language we're singing in, everyone's feeling something, and that's what I think is the sign of good music or a good performance or a good song, is when it elicits some sort of a feeling. And, we've had so many people reach out saying they've walked down the aisle to that version of Yellow, and lots of big life moments, or it's been on at a funeral, or these really big life-changing moments, whether they be joyous or just whatever it may be, but it's a big feeling, and I think that's what music's capable of doing, and making people feel things is something we really, pride ourselves in from our live performance as well as in the studio. And, as we head into this world, with the digital world, with lots of AI and all this, I think it becomes even more and more important to have this real human feeling thing, and, like you said, making it your own, because if you can't make your own, what else have we got? And especially, with AI and things like that, it's like we've got to be true to ourselves as humans, and most importantly, it's good when you can feel something from, which so cool that you're digging the tune, man.
Moving on, Roy, track 4 of your mixtape is what's a song that you wish you could play to your 18-year-old self?
Probably Ride On by AC/DC. It's a really dynamic song, really stripped back. The tones, that dry, mid-rangey guitar tone with, very little effects going on. It's a very, it's not overproduced, that song. It's very just authentic, and you can really hear and feel all the nuances in the vocals, and even the drum sound, the actual drum tone, everything about that song from a production point of view, I just love. It's a very less is more approach, and it has a great message of just keep on keeping on sort of thing. And it's kind of inspirational and weirdly sort of comedic as well, and a bit kind of playful.
What was the 18-year-old Roy actually listening to, mate?
18-year-old Roy, probably some indie rock songs from somewhere, probably American based or Aussie. I don't know. Like, I mean, my music preferences haven't really strayed too much. I loved a bit angsty Blink-182 or Third Eye Blind. You know, big fans of those bands, especially Third Eye Blind. Just thrash them as a young fella. You know, guitar driven music and big riffs. And
all right, Roy, for track 5, a little bit of a change of pace. What's your go-to sort of seduction love song? If you were making up a mixtape for, you know, romantic interest, what's your go-to track for that, mate?
It's got to be a song by D'Angelo, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Sexy man, sexy voice, sexy songs. That's probably where I'd land. Maybe something a bit more chilled, like Justin Vernon or Bon Iver.
Great eyes. I think his. I'm not sure if it was a like a version or not. I think it might have been. He did I Can't Make You Love Me, the Bonnie Raitt track. That was so good. Like just at the piano, just solo, unbelievable cover. Yeah, really, really good one. Yeah, no, yeah. I'm getting quite close to 100 episodes now, Roy, of this, and I'm going to do some stats. If there's a bit of social media content for the 100th episode, and in terms of, like, you know, artists that keep cropping up. I mean, Bob Dylan comes up in at least 25% of these conversations you're on in one form or another. But Bon Iver is another one that comes up quite a lot as well. Like his name gets mentioned all the time. Yeah, really, really influential. All right, Roy, and just to round out your mixtape track choices, what is a track that you feel is like a little bit underappreciated, maybe doesn't get the sort of recognition that you think it deserves?
I mean, it's a bit tricky to say. Probably a band from Darwin. They're called Horse Trank, and it's my dad's band.
Okay.
And
yeah.
Their first record, Scungy, it was called, was just like one of the best records ever made, I reckon.
Yeah, right.
It's just so good. It just tells such a true, authentic story of territory and lifestyle and living. And it's sort of iconic. But yeah, it never really got properly released. So I don't even know if it's on the internet. I mean, underappreciated. Let's try and think about this one. I love a record. Oh, there's so many amazing records. A band called Frightened Rabbit did this great record, Midnight Organ Fight.
Yeah.
It's just a killer record. Very deep themes. And at the moment, I'm absolutely, loving, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Yeah, right, okay, yeah.
Recently done some touring with them, and they're just such legends. And watching them live and perform, they're just amazing. That Butterfly 3000 record is one of my favourites. And because they put out so much music, it's hard to pick a favourite one. But that particular record is so damn good, and some really beautiful songs there. But it's kind of known that that's a killer record too, so it's probably not underappreciated.
Right, okay. I'm a fan of Frightened Rabbit myself, and so I'll pick one from the Midnight Organ Flight, I think. Yeah.
That'd be cool. I saw them at Woodford when they first released that in around 2004, and I was just like, I was a kid and I was just like frothing. I was like, this guy's rocks.
Yeah. You mentioned your dad briefly there. Have you had much advice from him, Roy? Does he give you much advice, or in the music biz, or songwriting? Or
definitely. He's been without doubt the biggest mentor of mine with music and life and things like that. He's an amazing musician, songwriter, and just a vibe master. But yeah, advice wise, he's always said, since I was a kid, loud and proud, wrong and strong, which was kind of to encourage me when you're a teenager and you're playing in front of your mates. It can be a bit intimidating, and you care so much sometimes when you're that little angsty teenager. But when I'd sort of listen to those words of just don't be so critical on yourself, and if you really enjoy it, just go for it. And that sort of loud and proud mentality, really kind of allows you to express yourself without feeling, that shame job or, those sort of feelings. So that was a big one. Before we play, before King Stingray play a show, he often comes into our huddle. We do a sort of a huddle. Yeah. Kind of, before the show, we get together and we kind of have a mantra thing that we sort of chant, which is that loud and proud, wrong and strong. And then tomahawk, chicken wing, Billy Joe is the wording we use, is referring to when Billy Joe got shitty at one gig from Green Day, and there was some chat in the crowd, and he just did this like punk double kick fly move off the stage. It's a silly reference, but it's our way of just laughing and kind of loosening up the nerves a bit and pretending that we're going to be doing like a mad stage dive, which we're definitely not.
Yeah.
Dad provides a lot of mentorship and advice for all of us.
Yeah, fantastic. That's amazing insight. Thanks for that, Roy. That's brilliant. All right, and just finally, just to round out the chat, Roy, future plans for the band? Once you got this tour out of the way, what you got coming up sort of middle, back end of 2025, mate?
Yes, we've got a very busy year ahead. We're going to Europe in May and June for our first ever time in Europe, which will be great. We're there for a month, touring all around Europe, and then we're going to the US in August, and then possibly Japan in September. So,
wow,
a real busy year.
Yeah,
touring around internationally this year. Should be great.
Fantastic. Roy, thanks so much for coming on the show, mate. I really, really appreciate your time. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you, mate. Good luck with the new record and the tour and everything else you got coming up. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in Freo, mate.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, mate. Appreciate it.
No worries, Roy.
Have a good one.
Thanks, buddy. Cheers, mate. Thank you so much for listening to the Mixtape podcast. All the links that you will need are in the description below. Link to my Patreon, my guest website and social media, my social media, and the link to the Mixtape tracks playlist as chosen by today's guest. Thanks so much for listening. Until next time.